Okay, so next I want to talk about 50-50, right? And my thoughts on it. So I'm not a type of girl who counts coins. Like, I will happily give my card. I'm never like keeping a tab. I'm never like comparing. Like, that's not how my brain works. However, I think there's an energy behind like the man and his brain and his heart that I can feel. And it's like there are some men that want to go 50-50, and it's like that's just with everything. They're just half 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 half, split everything in half. I'm not into that. And the reason I'm not into that is because feminine masculine energetics. So let me explain. In your own body, you have your feminine and your masculine energies, and in relationship dynamics, there's feminine and masculine energies. Feminine energy is like rest, receive, relax, pull back. Masculine energy is forward, it's action oriented, it's doing, it's going to work, it's hunting, and bringing the food back to the family. All right. Nurturing as well, like mom's nurturing, that's also masculine energy. Even though we think it's feminine, it's the doing, it's taking care. Like, you going to bed tired. You went and you put in that work. You wasn't resting and receiving. All right. When it comes to relationships, there's feminine and masculine energies, and there has to be a balance. And I feel like, I can't speak for all women, but I know most women, girls that I talk to all the time, they would rather be in their feminine energy and like resting and receiving. And again, this doesn't mean that they don't want to put in work, or they don't want to like, they don't have any passions or any drive. Like, I'm not even talking about the girls that just want to like you to pay for everything and they just want to like be pretty and do nothing. And if that's what you want to do, that's cool. I'm not like that because I have a fire burning inside me. I gotta move. I gotta do some stuff. Yeah. But I love a man that's able to bring a masculine energy that makes me feel safe and is able to protect and provide in a way that lets me rest and receive. Because I personally feel like I can only rest so much until I feel like you got me and you got us. And it doesn't mean you got to pay every single tab. It doesn't mean you got to pay every bill. But if I got $10,000 and you got $1 million and you still trying to 50-50, that also doesn't make any sense. You know, I think in general, in a relationship, I like to feel feminine. I like to feel like I'm going to go out and do my thing. Like, maybe I'm working, maybe I'm running my business. I already have to use my brain. I'm already tired.
Yeah.
I want to come to my man and feel like I can relax. And he's got me.
He gonna figure it out.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, I like how that feels as a woman. And men are wired to go out and work. They're wired with this ambition and this drive and this go-getter energy. Not every man has it, but every alpha man has it. Every man that I will look and see and be like, that's a real man. His mom raised him right. He has it too. He wants to protect and provide. And it doesn't even mean that he has to have $1 million and he has to be rich. If a man only has this amount and, you know, over the next 10 years, he wants to grow and grow, but right now this is what he has, and he's going to use this amount that he has for the both of you to the best of his ability, then I'm into that, because you're not being like mine, stingy with it. Like, we're both reciprocating energy, and you want me to feel safe. You want to protect and provide. You want to make sure you got your girl. You know, as a man, that's how you genuinely feel. I'm into that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I can resonate with that. But
what do you think?
I'm going to have to just be clear and straight up. That 50-50 Dutch, for the birds.
She said it's a no.
I said what I said. It's for the birds. The men that's on TikTok, the men that's on Twitter that are saying, yeah, they have that expectation that it's 50-50. I'm sorry. It's a dub.
Samira did say, though, that she's willing to put her car down and stuff.
I got this.
Tell the girlies, because I don't want y'all coming for her like those other girls.
It's fine. I'm not worried. I could handle it. Y'all can come for me if y'all want. I said what I said. The 50-50 is a dub, and I stand on it. You could feel how you feel, but my man don't feel that way. So go ahead. You could hate. But what I will say is, in a relationship, it's also give and take, right? If the man is providing, and I think men need to feel supported, they need to feel loved. If that's the case, I have no issue to be reciprocal and make my man feel wanted, supported, and loved. If there's a dinner and I'm out with him, I could put my card down. I think it's really, again, and we talked about this earlier, like, the energies too. Like if I'm a high value woman and he's a high value man, we're not counting pennies here. We're not counting pennies. Like I can put my card down. I have no issue with that. I think it's the expectation and setting the precedent in the beginning that, oh, I have to do this. No, baby. I don't have to do anything, nor do I have to be with you. So I think that's what it is. And there's a lot of men that are just expecting like, yeah, where's your card? Like, yeah, I'm sorry, that's like, you're not an alpha man. I can't even look at you as a man, like, to be like, dang, you think, like, I don't even think I would attract a man like that because that's never happened to me. But I think it's like, you think that I got to split with you and you wanted me to get dressed, put my makeup on. This costs money, baby.
Wait,
this
that's
costs
funny,
money.
Though. That argument, I mean, I agree with it, but I never processed that in my head, like, I never think, you know how women will say like, oh, like I paid this amount to like do my hair and nails and my makeup and took this time to go out with you. I've never like processed that. I get the argument and I'm like, I mean, that makes sense, you know, but I never think that. I usually think of like just the energy behind it, you know, because if you're counting and I'm not counting, that's a turnoff.
Yeah, I can't have a man that's counting pennies because at this point, honey, like, for me, it's we're in this together and we're in this together and and there's no reason why we should be counting you did that. And I don't want a man like that, tick for tack. Because you did something, I owe you something. If that's the case, baby,
we don't want to tick for tack.
I'm not your one, and that's okay. And I think it's
alignment.
But it's women also being true to themselves. If that doesn't align with you, why are you staying with that man?
No, I agree. I think from the beginning, you gotta, you know, if you can know what you want and you say no to what is not in alignment, you say yes to what is in alignment, then you're that closer to, you know, getting a match.
But I think it's important for you to be true. And like, when you think this is not fitting for you, then it's not for you. And that's okay. That's okay.
I remember, this is so funny. I remember one time I went out with this guy and it was time to pay for like the dinner. He like asked me to go get lunch and he literally pulled out crumbled dollar bills and went half with me. Crumbled dollar bills though, like half? Why? and went half.
I thought he had crumbled dollar bills and paid for all of it.
And went half. You think I saw that man again? Psych. I did not, because it wasn't even it was the energy behind it. You could have asked me to go walk in the park. Like, why?
That's true.
Like, you just approached it completely unattractive to me. Like, if you're gonna ask me to go out, I'm expecting you to pay, but don't pull out no like crumble dollar bills.
But
like,
my thing is chivalry. If you ask me,
chivalry,
like, you asked me,
we're on a date, no?
Yeah, but if he asked me out, my guy, why would you expect me to pay half?
I agree with that. I mean, I was blown, but I didn't go with him again.
Period. But, you know, besties, we're not going to have you leave here. We're not going to have you leave here not learning anything. Like, obviously, we dropped some gems, but I wanted to, just because this is my wheelhouse, and Liz has a couple.
Right.
Yeah,
we are talking about money.
Yeah, Liz has a couple things she wants to drop, but, like, I just want to give you a few steps on how to maybe set up your money so you can feel empowered in money. And just a quick few steps. I would say first things first is to pay high interest debt. And simultaneously, like, I would say that's the first thing to do. Like, high interest debt, like credit cards, loans, like things that are hitting you like 20%. Like, I would pay those off first. And your second best thing, it would be you need to save up to 6 months of like an emergency fund. Because, you know, life happens. And we were talking about corporate jobs earlier. Like, life happens, and like, let's say you get laid off. You need to have enough funds to sustain yourself in case life, you know, you got a flat tire or something happens. So first things first, pay high interest debt. Second, have an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months. And then third, if you're in a credit situation, I think credit's a really important thing. And I think just being in like growing up Haitian, the Black community, like, it's not something they talk about. Credit is truly king. Like, I would really just make sure you're keeping your credit cards under that 10% utilization. There's ways, and there's credit gurus. I'm not a credit guru. You can find them on TikTok or not even then. Google it. Educate yourselves. I think that's a really important thing. And last thing I leave with you is invest. your money in a bank account will, like, it just decreases. Inflation is rising, and your money, when it's sitting in a checkings account, it's honestly, over time, you're losing money. So at least now you put it in the stock market, and you don't need to do anything risky. I know a lot of people after 2020 and that craze that was going on, they put a lot of money in meme coins, or just like stock, like meme stocks and stuff like GameStop, and nothing against them. Proud for, happy for everyone that made money, but you can put it in an ETF. You can put it into, blue chip stocks like Walmart, or companies that Apple, as well as just putting in the overall stock market. So like, for example, there's VOO, VOO, like those are ETFs that essentially they put money, and your money's like divided into the highest, or the like 500 top companies in the United States, and your dollar is being divided into all of those. So it's like, this is a safe way to put your money. ETFs are cheaper. I know people can go into mutual funds and stuff, but you can go ahead and put your money into that. And I kid you not, you will see the power of compound interest over time. If you invest your money, you're going to see that return on investment, as well as eventually, assets. Don't spend your money like on cars, and I think a lot of people want to do flashy things, chains, bags. Girls,
get assets first.
Girls, when these boys want to buy you something, don't say you want a bag unless it's a Hermes, honey, because if it is, that is an asset, and it will give you a return on your investment. But I would, I'd rather take the cash and put it in a stock. I would put it into VOO or VTI. And these are just ETFs that just track the overall stock market. SPY, I'm just naming some in the top of my head. But I would think that's the biggest thing for you to do. And again, I was in a position, I didn't have anybody teaching me these things. I was just around people, very smart people, that became very wealthy by putting their money in the stock market and just being patient. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. Do not feel intimidated. Oh, I need to pull it. I think that's the worst thing you can do. Just put it, sit, let your money grow.
Yep. And get a high yield savings account for your liquid funds.
Yes, I would put your emergency fund in a high yield savings account. So there's Marcus by Goldman Sachs. There's Ally. So they're giving you an APY like every year. I think it's like 4.5%. Yeah. I don't have the exact number on the top of my head, but don't have it in a normal savings account. If your emergency
Bank of America savings 0.01 is for the birds.
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't make any sense.
If your money going to sit, at least let it grow. And then, like you said, whatever's left over that you don't need in your emergency, like you said, invest in it. Like, scared money doesn't make money.
Yeah.
I also recommend like splitting. Something I did when I first started trying to like take care of my money and steward it was having multiple accounts, and also multiple savings accounts, and tracking like my incomes and expenses. So for example, I have a checking account that I just swipe. I have another card that's for my expenses. So that way I move the money that's going to go towards my expenses in one account. So when it gets pulled, I don't feel like, damn, where'd my money go? And I don't have like my heart drop down. You know, like when your money disappears.
It's important, and when it comes to that though too,
to pay attention,
to not like be like keeping a budget. Like keeping a budget, because it's easy to want to transfer when like you run out of money, to be like, oh, I need a little bit more. Like, you got to stick to a budget. You got to be stern with yourself. You need to hold yourself accountable and stick to a budget.
I think I agree and disagree, only because I believe in what I like to call, I learned this from my friend, her name's Erin, what's an adult allowance. So I believe in, depending on how much money you make, because don't be spending more than your means, first of all.
Yeah, but that could be a part of your budget though, your adult allowance.
Then yeah, and that's why I said agree and disagree. I think your budget has to be expansive enough for you not to feel like you're constantly in lack, because I think if you're feeling constantly in lack, you
just have to adjust the budget though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel a little funny about that word budget, but I also agree. I have mixed feelings.
Why
because
does
the word
make you feel weird?
When I hear budget, I go back to my childhood. I think coupons. I think limiting. I think like it feels limiting.
Honey, there's nothing wrong with a coupon, and I said what I said.
I agree.
Use the coupon. One thing I just gotta say this really quick, because I worked at Bloomingdale's. Honey, all these little designers that everybody liked, everything is discounted. So I would just say, use that coupon, girl. Do not be ashamed. But I think maybe this is something from your money.
Yeah, money story.
Your money story you have to unpack a little bit, because the word budget shouldn't be something that feels limiting. If anything, it should empower you. Like, you should have enough for your adult allowances. You should have, like, you should budget entertainment. You should budget fun, travel.
Okay.
It's something that you should feel empowered.
With the context. But when I hear the word budget.
Yeah, but that's something we're going to have to unpack.
I know, but I know I'm not the only girl when she hear budget or she hear coupon. It's like, like I've made friends with budgeting and coupons, and I love me a discount. I sure do. I sure do, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like when I started to expand my income and play with it more, I just wanted to give it avenues to flow. And I feel like money likes to flow. And it likes to go and it likes to come back. You know, yeah. I like to say, I let my money go. I'm not holding it hostage. Like, money, I always say, like, money's like your boyfriend. If you're going to be controlling and hold it hostage, it's not really going to want to be around you and breathe. But if you don't care about it and you just don't give a damn, it's not going to want to be with you either. So, like, caring about your money, knowing what's going in and out, like, where you're placing it, creating a budget or an adult allowance. That's what I like. The name is a little different. I don't like the name budget. Anyways, it is a budget,
just a universal term. That's all. You can call it whatever you want. I guess.
Fine. Let's use budget. I will budget in my budget. Long story short, my budget will feel expansive enough for me to feel like I'm not forcing it, like I'm not overspending, but I'm also not giving myself so little that I still feel like I'm in lack if I have the income to play with. If not, then I'm going to have to take care of business first, and we're going to have to make more money.
And I think everyone can receive that, right? Like, you don't want to feel like, okay, you have $10 left to last the whole 2 weeks. Like, I think you have to be realistic with yourself, and that's the big part of being comfortable with money, is just being able to be true to yourself and understand how much you spend. But also, you have to be true to know how much you make, so you're not overspending when you're enjoying and having that adult allowance to have fun or X, Y, and Z. So I think the biggest thing is, like, talking about that mirror and just looking at yourself and being true and understanding what your reality is, and then to make those decisions. But, you know, we want to empower you to have these conversations that, again, it may feel tough, and money is like a weird, like, it's weird to talk money with friends.
I like talking money, especially with Samira.
Ooh. I like talking money moves, honey.
Yeah, I like talking money. But it is one of those things that can be, like, weird.
No, it definitely can be weird. So, yeah, this is the Baddie Bestie Podcast.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. You know, we're going to talk about everything and put you on game. As you know, we may stir the pot.
It's going to get hot.
But trust,
you gonna hit the jackpot, honey.
Period. Okay. Thank y'all for joining. Make sure y'all tap in, subscribe, like, comment. We want to see you in the comments. We want to converse. We appreciate y'all. Love you. Bye.
Yes, we hope we put you on today. We love you. Bye.